Honourable Barbara Edmonds.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
4.
To the Minister of Finance, does she stand by her statement, quote, "The government is focusing on the things that make a difference to the quality of people's lives," unquote? If so, do the changes coming in today reflect that?
The Honourable Nicola Willis.
Mr. Speaker, yes and yes, because the annual general adjustment changes coming into effect today help New Zealanders who are with greater increases to payments, including those who are receiving superannuation, veterans' pensions and benefits, which will help them with the cost of living. Mr. Speaker, I note that for those that are adjusted according to after-tax average wage, the increases are larger than they would have been otherwise because of the tax adjustments delivered by this government in its first budget.
Supplementary. Does a 35-cent per hour increase in the minimum wage, less than the rate of inflation, make a difference to the quality of people's lives?
Well, Mr. Speaker, the first thing I would note is that our Cabinet is mindful of the fact that the minimum wage is paid by employers, small businesses, medium businesses up and down the country. And we are conscious that in recent years they have undertaken a very difficult period in which they have faced significant inflation and rising interest rates. And we want to ensure they are now in a context where, given the choice between letting a worker go or hiring a new worker, we minimise the costs that they face and ensure that we do not put New Zealanders' jobs at risk.
Supplementary. How does the planned removal of the living wage for government contracted cleaners, caterers and security guards make a difference to the quality of people's lives?
Mr. Speaker, the member is referring to the procurement changes which the government is consulting on, which intend to improve the quality of New Zealanders' lives by ensuring that when government is choosing who to contract with, instead of ticking a lot of boxes, small businesses and medium businesses in New Zealand are invited to submit on the impact their business will have on New Zealand as a whole, including the jobs they create, the training they create and the positive impact they have in their community. We think this New Zealand interest test, this economic impact test is an important way to ensure we make the most of government procurement.
Supplementary. Does removing free public transport fares for under 25s and reducing public transport subsidies make a difference to the quality of people's lives?
Well, Mr. Speaker, in our first budget, what we did was we ensured that we were able to offer tax relief to millions of New Zealanders, fully funded by savings across government. And what we can say is that that has allowed many New Zealanders to have more money in their bank accounts than would otherwise be the case. At the same time, we have ensured that inflation is back in the target range, minimising the price increases that New Zealanders face across the general economy, which has allowed interest rates to reduce, again improving the cost of living for many families.
Supplementary. How can she stand by her statement she is focusing on the things that make a difference to the quality of people's lives when public transport costs and car registration fees are up, power prices, insurance levies and rates are up, but our lowest paid workers only get 35 cents an hour raise or won't receive the living wage?
Well, Mr. Speaker, picking up on the last part of that question, it's important to note that minimum wage workers are in families with a range of different household circumstances, and what we have been advised is that in many cases those workers will be eligible for additional working for families and accommodation supplement support, such that in some cases a minimum wage increase will actually be eroded by the abatement in those payments that would occur otherwise. The significance of this, Mr. Speaker, is that actually what New Zealand families want is pretty simple. They actually want jobs, and we're ensuring our policies support that. They want a cost of living that's under control, and we've ensured that a lower inflation rate delivers that. And they want to be part of an economy that's growing, so there are more and better paid jobs, and so that their cost of living is controlled in the medium term. The alternative approach, Mr. Speaker, is that of the last government, where they sprayed the money hose around, crossed their fingers and hoped, and what it delivered was a cost of living crisis that made many New Zealanders worse off.